Hey, did you see that our podcast got plagiarized by big Hollywood names?
For scripting purposes, no, I did not.
Oh, well, you should really pay more attention to the news. So we call ourselves Starformers.
Uh-huh.
If you've read the news. And
Hollywood. Starformers is a combination of Star Wars and Transformers.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is. Uh-huh. And you know what Hollywood went and did this weekend?
They make a Starformers movie?
No, they didn't.
Dang.
They went and stole our shtick.
What?
With Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oh my gosh, they ripped us off. We really shouldn't. This is why we normally do very off-the-cuff,
so
unlisted advanced script. Trying to do this stage
do you have a better?
terrible.
Do you have a better bit?
No, I'm leaving it in.
Oh no.
You want to do the actual It's Wednesday Night part?
Yeah, sure. It is Wednesday night, and we are back at my apartment, and it's been 2 weeks for us, but 1 week for you all consistent listeners, so thanks for tuning back in. I'm Rachel.
I'm Cameron.
And tonight we're going to talk about Star Wars.
And Transformers.
Yeah. So Actually, I don't know if you have anything to start off with, but I have received a correction since last week.
Oh, great.
2 weeks ago.
Throw it at me.
I received this text from my mother midday Monday.
Megan and your mother are competing for top contributors to our podcast.
Your mom is never in bed at 9 p.m. You could call listening to podcasts.
Dang it. Dang it, Rachel.
Sorry, Mom. I just, I'm sorry. I know I could have called. So the funny thing is that when I was a kid, we briefly mentioned the Aristocats last week. And I don't know if I mentioned this on podcast, but I was Toulouse for Halloween once. My mom made me a cat costume, coolest costume. And my mom goes, I should totally find a picture of you in your Toulouse costume. Crop out your head. And I told her, I said, I was sorry. I was like, I didn't know if a call that late would freak you out. I didn't know if, because my dad, at least when I was a kid, would go to bed early. And she goes, no, we've been staying up late. Me usually, him too. So correction. So next time we need to call my mom for something at 9 p.m. for the podcast, we can.
That's good to know.
I've also been corrected on another thing because I made a joke. I believe Revenge of the Fallen made a reference to Mephistopheles, which is a German. Also, Mephisto is a demon in German folklore, and I've been corrected because my first thought was Mr. Mistopheles from Cats, and my mom sends me the Wikipedia demon, not Cats musical character only, greater reputation. So, anyways, thank you for the correction, Mom.
Well, thank you. We always appreciate corrections. That's great. So from the last week, a couple of different things as far as Transformers. One, back when Rise of the Beast was coming out in June, we were consistently covering all the different posters they were releasing for the movie. Effectively, if you don't remember, the movie's marketing didn't really have much of an identity, especially the posters. Every poster they released from the movie was like just totally different stylistic from the last. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it as far as like each poster being so unique, but I think it explains why the movie didn't do well just broadly is they just didn't have an idea on how to market the movie. Well, even now, with the movie releasing on digital, they're still releasing totally different stylized posters, and they look great. This is really good.
That's like the old. That looks like the old.
Yes.
Old one.
They released a poster that looks a lot like the 1986 animated movie.
With that one.
Yeah. If they had just chosen a lane, I think it would have worked. It's like they just pretty much just like did every idea they had, and they all were executed to
everything
perfection.
Everywhere all at once.
Sure. But so it was just very funny to me that even post theatrical release, they're still trying to push their marketing and just throwing out every ideas. On the topic of Transformers social media, their official the official Transformers Facebook page did two very funny things. One is not even meant to be funny whatsoever. The other one is meant to be a joke, but is funny, but not for the reasons they intended it to be. The one is they simply just updated their profile picture, and I thought it was hilarious. They updated it to a very tight shot of the guy who has the funniest name of all Transformers, in my opinion, Optimus Primal. It's a very tight shot of his face.
It makes it reminds me of all the zoom-ins of Kingpin from Spider-Man.
Absolutely. And especially, I took a screenshot. It says Transformers updated their profile picture, and it's just a circular cropped photo of Optimus Primal from the new movie. And it's just so funny to me. And it's all...
Because the title's not even on there. It is just... It's like Optimus Primal actually updated his own profile picture on Facebook.
And it's... always funny to me when a profile has a heavily cropped up close-up of someone's face. Typically, it's a joke, but sometimes people do it on accident.
The pictures I sent you, I sent our group chat earlier today. It was very similar.
Additionally, man, this is a weird crossover. So I'm just going to let Rachel look at it real quick so I don't ruin it and let her react to it. The look of, like, amused shock on Rachel's face right now is hilarious. So
that's a post.
Athena, write that down. Write that down, that time code.
That looks like something to come out of the depths of Reddit.
Absolutely. So what it is the official Transformers Facebook page shared a post from the official Forrest Gump page, and for whatever reason, the Forrest Gump page shared an image of Forrest Gump running while being interviewed by people, and behind him is a very poorly photoshopped, is that Mirage? Yeah. Holding a sign that says "Run, Forrest, Run." And the post says, "Autobots hiding in plain sight since '94." Now, the very thin connection here is that Forrest Gump came out in 1994. And the new Transformers film takes place in 1994. But this is... And kind of the joke is that, like, in Forrest Gump, he himself is, like, inserted into different famous historical moments. But this scene does not take place in 1994.
Old films try to stay relevant challenge.
Just bizarre. Everything about this is bizarre.
What poor intern had to make that?
Like, they didn't, like, the bare minimum, you could have added, like, a little bit of, like, the grain effect to...
Yeah, it's so high def.
He's too in focus, because he's in the background. He should be out of focus. He shouldn't be that high resolution. The colors don't match. It's not even, like, a image of Mirage from the movie. It's a concept art of him.
Promo, yeah.
Every decision here made is bad and bizarre, and that's why I love it. Now, speaking of bizarre things, I forgot to fully execute it. Actually, we should do it live on the pod. Let me try to get it set up. Do you have another news item?
I do have news
Okay,
items,
you keep going, and I will try to complete this.
Multiple! Anyways, so these came out within, I believe, a day or two of each other. So Deadline reported that Andor Season 2 has halted filming with only weeks left due to the studio deciding not to pay actors and writers fairly, causing multiple strikes. Then, later, Deadline reported that Andor Season 2 is still in production in Pinewood Studios without the SAG-AFTRA members. British actors who are members of Equity have no legal protection to join SAG strike in solidarity, considering the UK's union laws.
Yes.
So, we've talked before that Andor is continuing even through the writer's strike, which... is concerning for multiple reasons, because one, pay your writers.
Absolutely.
Two, writers are so important to have on set. The
Agreed.
writing is what made Andor fantastic. There are many things that made Andor good, but
yes.
Writing is just as integral as everything else.
Good storytelling starts with the writers and ends with the writers. Like, they are there. I would presume, just logically, there are things that come up while shooting a thing. You write a thing a certain way. It's in your head. You get there the day, and things have to be changed to adjust reality. What actors are available, what props are working, what cameras are working, what costumes came in right. Like, things have to be adjusted. And what I presume, for example, what makes Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, so terrible is they didn't have the writers on set, and that movie is so empty for a lot of it. I presume they got there to shoot, and they didn't have writers. Like legitimately, there's a famously, like, sometimes George Lucas himself...
Beginning, middle,
George Lucas famously, behind the scenes footage of Revenge of the Sith, he came out and he had the screenplay for Revenge of the Sith, and he said, there's a lot of they fight in there. That's not inaccurate. Sometimes when you're writing a movie that's action-based, you have to leave some holes that are designed for the shooting stage and the CGI stage. You can't come up with everything on the screenplay level. You need writers there to write new pages on the day of, give the actors new lines of dialogue. Different things come up. I'm just totally agreeing with you is what I'm doing. I'm providing further reasons for why you're totally right.
Yeah, so interesting. The other thing I had, this isn't like news-wise, but I found out the Book of Boba Fett has stop motion in it.
Interesting.
And apparently The Mandalorian does too, which I don't remember where, but the Book of Boba Fett has stop motion. Do you remember there's a scene of Jabba's palace and we see one of the spider things? Mm-hmm. It's stop motion.
Very cool.
So
that's super great.
The spider thing is this, if you read into it, the former monks of Jabba's palace, before it was Jabba's palace, would remove their brains and put them into the little spider droid things and just kind of exist there. But so you can kind of see the transition.
That's super fun.
And like it looks fantastic because we're over a year since the show has come out and never even knew.
Yeah, see it's not really anyone's fault, but like that's what kind of CGI has kind of ruined visual effects. Not CGI itself, but like you just presume everything is CGI. So like there's a little bit less mystery these days. Like even if something it has nothing to do with CGI, you just presume it does. So you don't even really think about how they do that. Unless something is like really spectacular, I just saw that spider. No, it's not a spider droid. What are they called? Because a spider droid is something that is in the Clone Wars. It doesn't really matter what it is. It looks like a spider and looks like a robot. Well, it is a robot. It looks like a spider with like a brain thing in it.
If you need, I have something else that I found out.
Yeah, go for it.
So, do you know humans don't actually have pheromones?
What?
There is a very infamous line that is said in Transformers 1 about pheromones.
I had no idea where you were going with this. Did you know
humans don't actually have pheromones?
That's
the
so
things,
good.
The internals necessary for, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm about 90% certain I'm right. But the internals that we have, that we need to have those, we have it. It just doesn't work. It's like
interesting.
It's like it's we don't have them. Not that I'm expecting Michael Bay to be knowledgeable about things, but I guess I would just like to put that out there.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That is just a little something, I guess. A little bit of real world trivia.
Little snick snack tidbit knowledge for you.
Okay, I'm waiting to see how this thing works. I don't know how it works. So, the social media for Transformers and trying to promote...
Every time Paramount posts something, I get scared after they posted the thirst traps.
In attempting to promote the digital release of Rise of the Beast, they created a group chat where you can enter a group chat with the Autobots.
Like the AI character interactions?
I don't know. I'm trying to get it to work right now, and I don't know how to get it to work. Okay, so let me just read what I've gotten so far, and maybe you can help me figure out how to get this to work. It says, "Hello, new recruit. A new threat, codenamed TerrorCon, has been detected. Enter communications with Autobots and Maximals by entering your credentials at the provided link." So I did that.
Please enter your credit card information.
Yeah, "Hey, kids, this is Optimus Prime. I need your help defeating Megatron by getting the digits on your mother's credit card and the 3 digits on the back and expiration date. Credentials authorized. Processing. Message frequency will vary. Message and data rate may apply. Reply help to help and stop to cancel."
Help.
"Welcome, recruit. You are being connected to the Autobots and Maximals group communication channel. If you're ready to jump in the chat and help stop the TerrorCon threat, tap the link to add access key to your contacts and roll out."
I hope it's the meme communications. It's the meme group chat.
Connecting to chat link. and then there's a link that takes me to a trailer for Rise of the Beast. Then it just says Transformers profile, Mirage, code name, and it's a little ghost.
Oh, you got the worst one.
Association, Autobots. Enter. Oh, you have to enter the emoji. Enter this to meet Mirage and proceed. I see. Because I typed in Mirage and I misunderstood it. Well, I mean, that's logical. Okay, so I typed the ghost. I'm going to add someday. Oh, input acknowledge, loading.
Oh, he responded. That's cute.
And now I'm getting links. Oh man, this is one of the really sketchiest things I've done in a while.
Not on my.
Oh, Mirage sent me a video. Cameron, I hope he's not naked in it.
Cameron, not on my Wi-Fi, please. You're gonna give me viruses.
Okay. So he sent me gifs of himself.
But I feel like that would check out.
Optimus, Mirage. How many times do I have to tell you to lay low? Mirage.
Are they responding?
They're talking to each other.
No way. That's some. Oh my god.
It just keeps going. Optimus, Mirage. How many times do I have to tell you to lay low? Mirage. What do you mean? In like WDYM
this
question
is
mark
totally
question mark
accurate
question mark.
Because it's 1994. They don't have iMessage.
I was so low. I was practically pavement. Okay. I've been on my best behavior. RC. Oh really? Then how do you explain this? And there's a link. I clicked on the link, and it's a clip of the whole car chase scene with the cops.
Dude, you just pirate that.
Mirage. Oh no, I seem to be breaking up. I ... I can't ... the light ... I'm going toward the light ... RC. See, this is why I said we should keep him on a shorter leash.
Who decided to put this together? This feels like the most dysfunctional family group chat you could have. You know what I mean? That's the vibes.
RC, like rolling eye emoji. See, this is why I said we need to keep him on shorter leash. Mirage. Well, excuse me, Madam Killjoy. Yawning emoji. Who invited you to this anyway? RC. I thought you were breaking up. Mirage. You can't see me. I'm a mirage. Chat discontinued. To be continued.
I would have left that chat after the fourth
back
message.
tomorrow for more. So I don't even get to talk to him. I thought it would be like an AI thing I could chat with.
Just go to the AI chat rooms and wait the hour-long wait list and just find one. That's something. That is a lot.
So, if you would like to read some effectively fan fiction text messages in character as the Autobot and presumably the Prime
this is canon.
Maximals.
Is that not technically canon since
how would they be texting in 1994?
True, I don't know. Wow, that was a lot. The fact that it kept going was very interesting.
So, if you want to risk your information being sold,
thanks, Cameron.
you can go and do that.
Risk your friends' internet.
I'm definitely gonna have to cancel that so I don't keep getting those. Anyways, do you have any other news?
No.
So I don't have a ton of information on this, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless. This last week, I was listening to one of my two favorite podcasts called The Weekly Planet.
You mean Rebels and Robots?
One of my three favorite podcasts. No, actually, this is the first week I did not finish listening to our previous episode. I totally forgot about it.
Dang.
I got to do like half of it.
It's okay. My mom listened.
Thanks, Rachel's mom.
She listened to one for the 13th. So I don't know if she did last week's.
So on The Weekly Planet, the last segment they always have is they talk about whatever they are currently watching or reading or whatever. And one of them, one of the co-hosts read a comic book called Void Rivals. And it was about like two members of an alien race who are at war with each other, and they both crash land on like the same meteorite or something, and they're forced to work together to survive, much like one of your favorite episodes of Rebels. It's written by Robert Kirkman, who's probably one of the most famous, if not the most famous, currently living comic book writer. He created The Walking Dead. Yeah, there he is. He created The Walking Dead and Invincible and Marvel Zombies, and he's worked on X-Men and Ant-Man. And I did not know he was also collaborated with Image co-founder Todd McFarlane on the series Haunt. Okay, I don't know what that means.
It means he co-collaborated on a series called Haunt.
Thanks. Well,
you're welcome.
As it turns out, at the end of the first issue, they found a downed ship, and they go to scavenge it for parts, and it turns out that ship is a Transformer. I don't remember specifically which Transformer it was. It's not.
Robbing.
It's not specifically listed here on the Transformers wiki, which is really surprising. But
if TF Wiki doesn't know, no one knows.
yeah, really. The on the podcast they gave a specific name. I recognize the name, but I don't remember who it was. I think it was a Decepticon. But so this comic that's just been released is part of the Energon universe, a shared universe featuring both Transformers and G.I. Joe. So
Yeah.
I would imagine this is probably where they're aiming for with their new movies, given the phenomenal, absolutely brilliant mastered stroke that is the end scene of Rise of the Beast that teases a crossover with G.I. Joe. I would imagine this will be the universe. They're probably using these comics as Marvel is doing it. I imagine DC as well is using the comics to like kind of test ideas for movies.
It's not the first time that there's been a G.I. Joe and Transformers comic.
Yeah, but like it's a specific universe. Like the Energon, quote unquote Energon universe will contain primarily Transformers and G.I. Joe, but as well as other comics, not just those two. So like this Void Rivals comic takes place in that universe.
We can't have anything. The MCU has ruined any kind of crossover event.
So so that was kind of cool. Kind of a fun little surprise there. And apparently the second issue also has a surprise. Oh, actually, there's specific pages for each issue. Let me see if I can figure out. Dark climbs into his jump jet. Oh no, that's just the name of the ship. That jump jet definitely sounds like a transformer. So anyway, so fun stuff all around there. And that's all I've got for news. Do we want to go into our topic for the week? Oh, also,
Yes.
Comic-Con was last week.
Oh, yeah.
No real news. There's a lot of, if you're into Star Wars toys, a lot of cool toys. They also released some
They're
cool...
doing a Pre-Vizsla figure, which I don't care for Pre-Vizsla, like, as a character, but his design's really cool. And it's actually his before Maul design, the pictures I sent you.
Oh, interesting.
This is just more like Mandalorian insurgents.
I'm just going to do a quick Google search to see if there's anything. Oh, so there's a little bit of new information out. I don't know if this is... Yeah, there's new footage of the Star Wars game Outlaws.
Oh, yes. There's some new footage.
And... Yeah, mostly toys. A lot of toys.
Sorry, they're action figures.
There's a Lego released for Ahsoka's ship that she'll have in the show.
Hasbro Labs is trying to get crowdfunding to see if people are going to want it, of a like 26-inch ghost ship from Hera's ship.
Nice.
But it's going to be like $500. So
When you say Hera's ship...
the ghost ship.
Oh, yeah. Cool. For a second, I thought you maybe meant the... I didn't miss where you said ghost. I thought maybe you were talking about the B-Wing that she flies. Nope. Is that her, or is that... Who flies the B-Wing in that episode of Rebels? Do you remember, by chance? I thought it was her, but it may have been
I
someone
think
else.
she's flown them before, but like the cargo ship. The house that they all live in. The ship.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so on to this week's topic. As we somewhat teased in this week's very awkward and forced intro...
I would like it to be known that I told Cameron the joke we should make, and then Cameron goes, "You want to do the intro?"
You gotta practice, and we'll it's a constantly evolving podcast.
Got to practice for when you retire.
Just you and replace me with Robbie or something.
Athena.
Yes. Oh. Or Caleb. I don't know. Someone. Anyways, in celebration of this last week's Barbenheimer, the release of the Barbie and Oppenheimer films in theaters on the same weekend, I thought that the big joke behind that was just how different the two movies were. You had pretty much like black and pink. Girl movie, guy movie. Very happy and bright and colorful and silly and goofy musical numbers. And Oppenheimer's like realistic and down to earth. And
all the hot girls went to go see Oppenheimer. Kidding.
My hot girl? Kidding. I saw Oppenheimer. And so we thought that we would look through the major releases of each of the franchises covered in this podcast, Star Wars and Transformers, and categorize them into one of three categories: Barbie or Oppenheimer, or somewhere in the middle, which I'm using the film Asteroid City as the marker for the middle, which, if you don't know, Asteroid City came out earlier this summer, is the most recent film by Wes Anderson, and it sits right in the middle between the two. It mostly takes place in reality, and takes place in the desert next to in the New Mexico or Arizona desert, where they are in the next town over testing nuclear bombs. But it looks like it's a toy set. Like, oftentimes Wes Anderson is famous for his pastel colors and amazing costumes, and the fact that he often shoots things from an angle and often has like cutaways or like cross sections of buildings, like they're toys, like they're toy houses. But also, everyone is depressed, and also the film, much like Oppenheimer, has a subplot running in a different timeline that's black and white. So there's a lot of weird crossovers between Asteroid City and the two films. So that's going to be our middle ground for movies that
sprinting to release Asteroid City before Oppenheimer.
Dude, I wish they had come on the same weekend. That would have been great. All three of those films in one weekend. It would have been a lot of fun.
And I've seen Barbie and Oppenheimer. I have not seen Asteroid City yet.
Yeah, Rachel and I, as well as some other friends, friends of the pod, my wife, and who I don't think we've ever officially named on the podcast.
Yes, you have, because you accidentally said her name.
I think I censored it that one time.
I don't know.
I don't remember. We're going to go ahead and pretend like I haven't said it before.
We're doxing your wife!
And also, friend of the podcast, Megan, saw it with us, and also my former roommate, and we saw both this last weekend. And go ahead.
Megan, and former roommate.
Yes. Yeah, Megan is not my former roommate. Okay, so I'm gonna kick it off with. So I'm gonna as far as just like introducing them, I'm gonna do Star Wars stuff, and Rachel will do Transformers. So, The New Hope, Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, the original film. What do you think, Rachel? Barbie, Oppenheimer. Oh
wait, I forgot there's a middle ground.
Yeah.
Asteroid City.
Yeah. Man, it's tough because it's relatively lighthearted, especially compared to some of the other stuff we're going to talk about. Yeah. It is about a pretty simple-minded, innocent character wanting to leave their home and go out into the darker, bigger world, which is very Barbie. But there also is a death-destroying machine in it, which is a lot of Star Wars and a lot of Transformers as well, but it's the original one. But it's not about the person who created it. It's about the people being affected by it, which Oppenheimer doesn't deal with at all. And if you want to consider Barbie kind of a method of destruction as well, if you're a woman, which is kind of an element of that movie, I would say it leans pretty, and no one's really depressed in New Hope. There's plenty of depressed characters throughout all of Star Wars, but New Hope, everyone's pretty lively or evil, but like happy being evil. Like, we don't know Darth Vader's depressed yet, so everyone is depressed in Asteroid City. I would put it firmly in closer to Barbie than anything else.
Okay, so my initial was right. I was like, I don't know. You just look at young Mark Hamill, and I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna keep a running tab of how many we do for each one. So we got Barbie, Asteroid City, and Oppenheimer. So 1 Barbie for me, and 1 Asteroid City for Rachel. Okay, what's next, Rachel?
Are we alternating?
Yes.
Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm going to start. So I want to do the shows first because I haven't seen all the Transformers shows, so I don't know if we'll do all of them.
Let's just do the ones we've each seen. Like, not necessarily, like, you can do Prime. I've never seen Prime, but like, I've only seen one show, so that's the only thing I can talk about.
I've sent you clips on Twitter. So we're going to start with ye old G1 Transformers. Barbie.
It's pretty, well, oh man. Why do you think that?
You've seen enough episodes. Goofy, good-natured. There's like mild stakes. I mean, the stakes are kind of high, but goofy.
Yeah, you know what? The bright colors is a toy. It's based off a toy. It's not dealing with super darker themes. No one. Yeah, it's a Barbie. Okay, So over to Empire Strikes Back. I mean, if New Hope is Barbie, you almost have to say Empire is Oppenheimer.
I guess. I feel like that would probably be mine.
I'm trying to think if I could, I think a lot of these would honestly be Asteroid City just because they're kind of in the middle, because nothing is quite, like, these two films are really polar opposites. But as far as the spectrum of Star Wars, like, as far as Star Wars is concerned, Empire is darker and there is a lot more sadness in it. People are actually dealing with tough things. And Oppenheimer has a lot of, like, especially towards the latter half of the movie, him having these visions of horrible things happening, which is very much one of the most famous scenes of Empire Strikes Back. Luke having the image of him fighting. So yeah,
seeing his head.
I would say that really puts it over for me. Exactly. So that puts it over to Oppenheimer for me as well. So that's one Oppenheimer for me and one for Rachel. What's next?
Should we do Beast Wars?
I just want to make fun of Beast Wars. Any chance I have, I've never seen it. Nice. I've seen clips. Any chance to see Beast Wars, I will gladly take that chance.
It's technically Beast era because there's Beast Wars and then Beast Wars 2, and Beast Wars is the awful.
Yes.
3D animated, and Beast Wars is like 2, and it's just not as popular. I haven't seen it.
I would say that show, the man who made it, the moment he saw it, he should have thought to himself, I am become death, destroyer of worlds. I'm putting it under Oppenheimer.
There is apparently one episode that's very existential crisis and creation. So I think probably Oppenheimer for the pure horror that it is.
Okay, so we're now at Return of the Jedi, which I think nicely splits.
Asteroid City.
Yeah, I agree. It's got goofy stuff and silly stuff in it, but it also, like, what Luke's going through underneath it. Any of the stuff with, man, he's such a goofy villain, though. There isn't really a villain in Oppenheimer specifically.
Harry S. Truman.
But it is, you think the movie does start to switch towards being a little bit more from Darth Vader's perspective. He's much more of a character than he is in New Hope, and he's ultimately, you could almost say Darth Vader is the quote unquote protagonist of Return of the Jedi, in the sense of he's the character who goes through the most change, has the biggest character arc, even though he's not in the first act. He's the one who has the biggest decision at the end, and him having to deal with the regret, deal with the pain, deal with what he's done is very Oppenheimer. But obviously there's also Ewoks in it, which is very Barbie. So yeah, I would go Asteroid City as well. So that's my first one and your second one. All right, what do you got next, Rachel?
All right, I'm skipping some because I haven't seen.
Go
we
for
haven't
it.
seen some, but this is probably one you recognize. Transformers animated.
I know almost nothing about it.
You're a kid growing up and you watch TV on Saturdays. Did you ever see commercials?
No, I didn't watch any Transformers, and I don't think it was on. I didn't have cable growing up, so I didn't really see anything about Transformers, anything when I was a kid.
Well, I'm going Barbie on this.
Oh yeah,
I'm going Barbie.
I can definitely see that. It's 2D animated, very bright and colorful. I totally understand why you're saying that. Okay,
a lot of people love it. I've heard good things about it.
The Phantom Menace. Like visually, it's a lot darker than the original Star Wars. So it's a little more Oppenheimer with that sense. There's a lot of talking, a lot of politics. That's all very Oppenheimer. It's about the origin of someone who would go on to create mass destruction. Also very Oppenheimer. But it also has Jar Jar Binks in it.
I feel like it's... Continue, sorry.
But what I was about to say is... Oppenheimer's not free of its silly characters. Like, there's a lot of characters of various personalities. No, it's good. A lot of various personalities in Oppenheimer. Like, the movie is not devoid of comedy. It's not devoid of humor, especially like the guy, the actor's last name is Krumholtz, who plays his best friend.
Crumb!
Stop that. It's a personal joke. That doesn't make any sense. He
Friends are gonna get kicked out of
He
that
has
one.
friends who are lighthearted characters. It's obviously mostly a dark film, but so I think I would say Phantom Menace is surprisingly more Oppenheimer than anything, in my opinion. What do you think?
Barbie.
Please explain.
Well, first of all, Jar Jar is a pretty big contender.
I understand.
The pod racing section.
Sure.
Very. I mean,
fair enough.
I think it's just there are enough. I don't know. It just feels very Barbie to me. Maybe because I associate it when I was younger to around the time that I was still playing with Barbies.
Padme is very Barbie with all her different costumes.
She is. I saw Padme Barbies at a recent secondhand store. 1990s, and I was like, "Oh, those might be expensive."
That's interesting. I've never thought about. Obviously, I never personally came into encounter with a lot of Star Wars Barbies. That's probably one of the very few times those ever existed.
Her queen dress.
Yeah.
But so it's just, it feels very Barbie to me. It is in this isolated town, desert that has its own, own little personal problems, but not really largely affected by the outside world. A blonde character goes out into the big wide world and wreaks havoc later on.
Yeah. You know what? That's a really good argument because it's structured. The movie starts on Naboo. They go to a more political, darker world and come back to that world to try to save it. This movie's weirdly it's not blended like Asteroid City, but it has elements of both.
Are we the Barbies?
I love it. That one was probably really one of the most interesting ones on this list. What do you got next?
It's technically the Aligned series, but it's Transformers Prime.
Transformers Prime, one of your favorite cartoons, period, would you say?
Oh gosh.
Like, is it like
it's up there.
You really like this cartoon a lot.
It's a lot of it's rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's up there.
Where does it fall on the spectrum?
I gotta give it to Oppenheimer.
Okay, explain.
It's got some kind of dark moments. Existential dread, especially kind of towards some in like seasons 2 and 3, like world-ending stakes. Like
yeah.
So
there you go.
Like planet destroyed stakes. Like atmospheric ignition vibes.
Oh, well, that's okay.
A little bit.
Yeah. Also, I should probably have said this up top. Spoilers for Barbie, Asteroid City, and Oppenheimer. It's going to be very difficult because why I say that right now is Oppenheimer, the movie literally ends with him having images of a potential nuclear war.
Yeah.
Like not like the missiles flying through the atmosphere. So yeah, I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Is that you have anything else you want to say about that?
I feel like the Aligned series, I got to do all 3. So there are 3 canonically in this series for some weird reason, and they all look different. So there's Prime and then Rescue Bots. That's Barbie.
Yeah, no explanation needed on that Barbie. One.
And then there's Robots in Disguise, which I haven't seen. I think I watched 1 episode and I went, I'm good. It is, since I haven't seen it, but I've heard like it's not great, but it's not terrible. Mm-hmm. It's probably Asteroid City. Not saying that Asteroid City is not great, not terrible, but it feels like
it tonally falls in the middle. Yeah, anything that's kind of neutral or mediocre is probably going to fall in the middle like that. Okay, Attack of the Clones, which is a movie that is already tonally all over the place. You have all of the Naboo stuff, which is really pretty, very
like sand.
Ironically, between Barbie and Oppenheimer has way more romance in it, way more character. Because Barbie is actively anti-romance. You have Ken is obsessed with Barbie, but it's not returned. Mm-hmm. So but first half of Attack of the Clones is kind of like that.
Yeah,
man. I love Barbie. Barbie's a funny movie. It makes me funny to think about.
We enjoyed Barbie. It was
Ken
good.
is an incredible metaphor for so many male characters.
He's Ken-off.
Anakin, that's what's making me laugh. Yeah. And it's going to come around really hard when we talk about Kylo.
I sent you, did I send you that picture?
Yes. A lot of memes about Kylo this week and Ben and Ken. Anakin is very kin-like in how just empty
enough.
Anakin. Very good, very good. Man, but there's also quite a bit of underlying romance going on in Asteroid City as well. But see, Asteroid City doesn't have a lot of violence in it. But Barbie and Oppenheimer both do. There's a lot of action, different kinds of action.
Asteroidheimer.
I should say, actually, Oppenheimer doesn't really have any action. It has implied, right? They talk about horrible things, but it's not really seen very much. Barbie has a lot more action. You know, the final quote unquote battle in Barbie between the kins would put it a little more towards Attack of the Clones, but also all of this stuff is gonna have a final battle. But I don't know. What are you feeling? I'm really mixed on this.
Me too, because my first initial thought is like Barbie because of like the canniness, but then you throw in the Battle of Geonosis, and it's like that's a lot.
Yeah. There's an underlying element of the talking about the construction of the Death Star. But, you know, the colors, the CGI world, whereas, like, Barbie's intentionally about this uncanny world.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones is unintentionally about it. Though, the construction of the clones, it's not really about that. It's there, but it's like... But then again, it does kind of put it a little bit more into Oppenheimer territory. But I would say it's like 25% Oppenheimer, 75% Barbie for me. So I have to go Barbie.
Yeah, I think, that's what I was leaning towards.
All right, what do you got next?
Cyberverse, which is a 2018 series. I've heard things about this show. And I've heard probably not good things. Not like, it's just not great. So we're going to go with Barbie again for Cyberverse.
Okay. You're going to have a lot more than me.
I'm going to have so much Barbie. If you've seen any of these and I'm wrong, let me know.
Yeah, please. If you have any you vehemently disagree with us about, please.
If you have beef with our alignment.
Throw it in the comments, email us, or DM us, anything you want to do. Revenge of the Sith. I think you could make lots of arguments, but I think it's a pretty obvious Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Anakin. It's about him going down a dark path for a reason he thinks is good, but ultimately ends in the death of millions, and contributes to the power of a new superpower. Obviously there is action in it. There is beautiful costumes. Anakin is a kin. He's a total doofus, and he does all this for the woman he loves, which is very Barbie. Ken's whole plotline in Barbie is that he, out of his
Ken's
love...
whole personality is Padme.
Yeah, exactly.
Cameron was allergic to that take.
I sneezed. Anakin and Ken's storylines are really similar. Ken does all that he does because he's afraid of losing Barbie, and he demolishes the hierarchical structure of Barbie Land out of his love for Barbie, and that's exactly what Anakin does. I don't think it's enough to override the very Oppenheimer story elements of this.
Order 66.
And also, Oppenheimer is about, he kind of ends up alienating everyone in his life.
But wait, Order 66. The clones were brainwashed.
It's true.
Just like the Barbies.
It's true. That's true. There is an army of brainwashed clones, which is very Barbie. But Oppenheimer is very much about him pretty much isolating every single person in his life, which is also what Anakin ends up doing. And Oppenheimer's, if not his true love, one of his loves ends up dying in a very sad and kind of loses a character that actually loses the will to live. So
that's actually a conspiracy on whether or not.
Yeah, that's outside the scope of this podcast. I'd like to talk to you about that in real part, but I didn't hear about that.
Listen to our second podcast about government conspiracies. We'll see how long we can make it last.
We're bringing back the Alex Jones.
No.
So yeah, okay. So is that you agree on Oppenheimer on that?
I gotta get to Oppenheimer.
Okay, what do you got next?
Earthspark, which is the current on-running show. This one is very much for younger, but I haven't seen... I've heard it's got some good moments, but Based on what I've seen, I would almost maybe put it Asteroid City.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Now this is a cartoon I've not seen the entirety of. And a 7, so it's Clone Wars, the cartoon. It's too long of a show. But even, I was thinking about just doing season 7 because I know we've both seen that. But even that, the story arcs in that are so different. So I just like your general impression of the Clone Wars cartoon. When you think of the whole show, where would you land it?
Asteroid City.
I agree. Yeah, it deals with a little bit of everything. Asteroid City is about a bunch of different characters. It jumps back and forth between these characters, and each story is a little bit different. Some are a little bit better than others, which is very Clone Wars. Some are darker. It deals with darker timelines.
And then you get the Jar Jar arcs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Asteroid City for Clone Wars, and a good take. Obviously, there would be individual episodes that are different.
Yes. Before you say it, Umbara, yes, is Oppenheimer. We get it.
What do you got next?
I'm going to move on to the movies now because I skipped some of the shows.
Yes.
So we're going to start with the original. The original 1984 Transformers film.
It's got far too much energy to be anything other than Barbie.
Yeah, it's got so much energy.
But, dang it. See, there's another world-ending thing in there.
Is it Asteroid City?
See, Asteroid City doesn't really deal with world-ending at all. It's very low. I know, like, Asteroid City was just meant to be in the middle, but also because I've seen Asteroid City, I like to think about that movie as well. But, whereas you do have a world-destroying thing that is stopped at the end. Oppenheimer's about the persistence of this thing.
I believe we did.
Say again?
I believe we did. That's the last line in Oppenheimer.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. So everything is high energy, lots of fun characters, lots of fun worlds, meant to sell a toy. I think I gotta go Barbie for the animated movie from 1986.
The soundtrack. It's the
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good call. Okay, what do you got next? Oh no, it's me. Sorry. Star Wars Rebels. While it is darker than Clone Wars on average.
Oh, you're gonna rustle some jimmies with that one. Maybe not rustle some jimmies, but people can get up in arms about Rebels versus Clone Wars.
Yeah, I know, because Star Wars fans are dumb. Look, you're allowed to like both. You're allowed to like one or the other. I just don't I'm not going to say that Clone Wars doesn't deal with dark subject matter, but like Rebels is clearly a lot more focused of a show than Clone Wars. Rebels is about a core group. There's no episode or run of episodes that are about someone who's not the main group character of Rebels. One of the main characters. So it's a lot more focused. But nonetheless, I still don't think I could put it in the... Oh, maybe it is more in the middle. Maybe it is more of an Asteroid City in the sense of it's in the middle.
I think it's more in the middle, but there are definitely episodes that lean towards each one, especially towards the end of season 3 and 4. Do we not get a couple of orbital bombardments?
That's true. Yeah, I think having to deal with the ambiguity of war. That's kind of a fun element of Rebels is everyone has a different perspective on how to solve the problem of the Empire. And, well, they all think it needs to be done. Like Oppenheimer, everyone agrees the Nazis have to be taken care of, but everyone disagrees by what means. So I think that's very Oppenheimer. But obviously, and you also have a character like Chopper, who is a weapon of mass destruction. But also there's obviously lightheartedness to... It's a very colorful show, Rebels. There's a lot of fun in there as well. There's a lot of humor. So it does, in the sense of it's in the middle, but also Asteroid City deals with lots of different characters and the consequences of their lives. So I do think it lands, and because what also I think pushes it a little bit closer to Oppenheimer as well. Rebels is these characters have to deal with the fallout of their actions.
And I think because Rebels is so focused on the same cast, it's easier, maybe not easier, but it's easier to see how it aligns more with a biopic because it's so focused on these characters. We see them grow through the seasons. And so you can argue that we see that happen in Clone Wars, but I'm going to be honest. I watched Clone Wars and Rebels all for the first time in the same year. Mm-hmm. And I felt like Rebels characters had more growth because of the consistency aligned to their stories and screen time versus the arc style of Clone Wars. The arc style was fine. It worked out. You get some really good stories, but I will always say the highs of Clone Wars are really good, but the lows are low.
Yeah, I agree. So where are you falling at?
Oh, I'm putting it in mostly
Rebels.
probably for like Asteroid City.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. Okay. What do you got next?
Revenge of the Fallen.
Revenge.
Do we have to rank it?
Wait, we haven't talked about the 2007 movie yet.
Oh, you're right. I actually skipped it. Sorry, the 2007 Transformers.
Oh, interesting. What are your initial thoughts?
Would you put this in the Barbie category?
Okay, so it is mostly tied up nicely. The characters are all pretty happy. It's about a main character who's living a very blissful, normal life, enters into a new world, and has to integrate into that world. A lot of bright, fun colors, fun characters. A love interest who is, I guess, yeah, I don't know if you could really find much I guess, other than the sense you do have a lot of different storylines.
Timesheimer.
That's hysterical. That's really funny.
Can I tweet that just that
please
word?
Do. Please do.
No context.
That's so good. You should do it right now before you even forget. Yeah, like...
I need to be on the right Twitter account to do it?
Oppenheimer is a bunch of people trying to approach this problem from different directions, and that is in Transformers. Optimus-heimer. Love it. Send. It's really good. No, it won't. That's very on brand for us. Don't even joke. Now, if the official Oppenheimer account tweeted that would be phenomenal. Can you imagine if it got retweeted by Christopher Nolan? Dude, he's a goofy guy.
We made it, Cameron.
If you have it, just side note, if you are interested in Christopher Nolan,
if you're listening to this,
he in an interview recently said that one of his they asked him, if you're scrolling through cable, what movies do you stop and watch? On that list for him, he listed two movies or did two different things. He said, Stanley Kubrick films, which is really obvious if you know anything about him, or a great comedy such as Talladega Nights. And in another interview, he talked about briefly Roderick Rules, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie. So that's probably because he's got kids, I would guess.
Hey, do you know the guy who plays Roderick is in Oppenheimer?
I think that's why it came up. But so he
watched that and went, I want this man in my next
totally off topic. Anyways.
Christopher Nolan, if you're listening to this, can we be extras in your next movie?
I cannot in good conscience say that Transformers is Asteroid City. Transformers 2007 is Asteroid City, much less Oppenheimer. So I've got to go Barbie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, so next up is Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Oh, are we saving the solo stories for later?
I'm going in release order for all of this.
Forgot about that.
I mean, it's Barbie all the way.
Pretty Barbie.
I mean, Rey and Barbie are pretty similar characters. They go on an adventure to a new world and learn a lot about themselves, and they have a man pursuing them who is way off base about a lot of stuff.
About a lot of things.
Hey, Kylo Ren might be a scumbag, but Ben Solo, he's Benough.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we've got another Barbie. All right, what's next?
Revenge of the Fallen.
Good Lord, this movie.
Do we even have to rank this one as bad?
Oh, what even?
Because when we rank these, we're not saying whether it's good or bad.
No.
It's just what thematically they kind of resemble, and this is just.
Gosh. It's not deep enough to. Oh my God. Can I say abstain? But yeah. much like the reason I put Beast Wars on Oppenheimer, I think that you could consider Revenge of the Fallen a
pretty
weapon of mass
horrific.
destruction. So
Wait, it had a planet-killing weapon of mass destruction.
I think the movie itself is caused far more destruction to
Worst.
careers,
The worst.
people's wallets,
Oppenheimer.
expectations of what you should see at the theater. I'm going Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer solely for the fact that you finish watching it and you have an existential breakdown every time, like Cillian Murphy did when he looked at the camera in Oppenheimer.
Yes.
The eyes of a scarred, traumatized
Yeah, if you
man.
imagine that everyone watching Revenge of the Fallen is going through similar things as Cillian Murphy. Yeah. Okay.
I am become deaf.
I am become mad watcher of Revenge of the Fallen. Okay, what's your final vote?
Yeah, I guess. Actually, before I do the official ranking, here's what I would akin it to. Harry Styles' performance in Dunkirk.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Explain.
I don't like Harry Styles' performance in Dunkirk, and I think it's bad. Anyways, I guess I have to put it, but I guess through closer to Oppenheimer for the pure horror that this film is.
Okay, I'm looking to see. Oh, thought about making a Sound of Freedom joke, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. That's a little too edgy. I'm looking to see if there's you know what? Weirdly enough, no one has talked about if there was any other movies released this last week, along with Barbenheimer.
Are we gonna rank the Lego Star Wars specials on this?
No. So sorry, I'm just going on here to see.
He's not sorry.
I don't know what any of these movies are.
Wait, the Teenage Kraken one came out.
That was like a month ago.
What? I thought that just came out.
That came out in June, baby.
That just came out.
Do you know? There's a movie called Return to Dust, which is what watching Revenge of the Fallen made me want to do. Okay. So we are now to Last Jedi. Well, I mean,
That's very Oppenheimer.
well, let me. I mean, it's an obvious joke to make with how much it contrasts with Revenge of the Fallen. No, not Revenge of the Fallen. Force Awakens. But taken on its own merit. On one hand, sorry, I'm totally blanking. My brain is like so far off right now. Kylo Ren has to come to face with a lot of the stuff he's done. But that's also his storyline continues to be very close to Ken's in the Barbie movie, and Rey continues to be on a storyline very similar to Barbie. There's a lot of fun characters, a lot of silly characters. You do have a woman who's a little off a rocker, which is Rose, kind of similar to Florence Pugh's character in Oppenheimer, but also that's very Asteroid City as well. Just characters who are a little off. Characters going on all sorts of little adventures is very Barbie and Asteroid City. Man, I don't know if there's really that much similar to Oppenheimer.
I feel like what puts it into Oppenheimer territory for me is the Canto Bight scene, because you have this interesting commentary on war of who war impacts directly and indirectly, and who's not really affected by it, because you have the people at Canto Bight who are just they're truly in the middle, and they are going where the profits lead them. There's not so much war profiteering in Oppenheimer, but we see these two populations who are rather unaffected directly by war. The people at Canto Bight are, they are selling, so they are just making profits. They are winning no matter what, and you kind of, and they're separated from it. They're just doing whatever their rich thing, gambling. And then you have Oppenheimer, where Oppenheimer's effect from the war is not, the war's effect on him is not direct, because in Oppenheimer you have this I'm not going to go on a tangent for too long. You have this interesting balance of how far are you willing to go for personal gain and at what cost. Oppenheimer's was academically related, knowledge related. And granted, there is probably some, inspiration or dedication because the Nazis, didn't like. But so you kind of have this interesting war commentary on the more gray areas.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair argument, for sure. It's just, I guess for me, while that's a really good argument, it's such a small part of the movie, and the rest of the film deals so directly with the characters, vast variety of characters. I think for me, I would say Asteroid City. Where are you falling?
I think I'm going to go Oppenheimer.
All right. What do you got next?
Dark of the Moon, which we haven't covered yet on our podcast, but we will at some point after we've recovered.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
So Dark of the Moon definitely takes a darker turn. I don't know. I really think Optimus becomes death for a couple characters in this.
That's a really good argument. I think due to lack of resemblance to Barbie or Asteroid City, it almost defaults to Oppenheimer. But then it doesn't, like, off the top of my head, it doesn't really resemble Oppenheimer other than the fact that they're trying to destroy the world again. But Optimus himself is on a warpath in this movie. He is pissed.
He's pissed.
He's like, I died once. They brought me back to life. I'm not happy about it.
You're killing my friends.
This movie's not fresh in my mind at all, but I think that enough is to put it over to Oppenheimer.
We'll see if it's correct when we watch it.
Okay. So you going Oppenheimer?
Uh-huh. Doesn't this look like Death, Destroyer of Worlds, this poster? Look how menacing he is. That's what I say when I see my cat.
They do demolish a city in that one. Chicago is wrecked after that
Chicago.
one. Okay. So Solo, Han Solo now. Well, technically Solo, a Star Wars story. I almost said Solo, a Han story.
Hey, speaking of Han, of Aldrich.
Oh yeah, I was sitting here wondering if there was any Star Wars actors in these movies. I couldn't remember one. Alden Ehrenreich is a small but pivotal character in Oppenheimer.
I'm so sorry, Alden Ehrenreich. Every time I mention your name, I mix up your name.
It sounds like an anagram, like someone took a bunch of letters and mixed them up.
Yeah.
Though I thought you were about to apologize to me because in the middle of Oppenheimer, this very serious, focused film, you just tap. She's sitting behind me. Rachel tapped on my head and went, "Is that Solo?" Right in the middle of a scene.
I'm so sorry. The whole movie's filled with scenes, Cameron.
But it was the middle of a character conversation. I was like, I don't really mind her interrupting a scene, but her spending half this time not being able to think of what she wants to say.
See, I was going to mess up his name.
I really hope this kind of reignites his career as a film actor because he's so good.
Rumors he could come back for
Oppenheimer 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my god! No. Oh, this time we're gonna make the bomb with electricity. It's about Oppenheimer 2 is about Oppenheimer and Tesla teaming up to make a death ray.
Rumors he might come back in Dave Filoni's movie 6.
I would love that. I hope so. Okay, so what the heck? Oh, so we're talking about Solo. Totally lost track. Very fun movie for the most part. A little dark at times. It does deal with the criminal underworld, but honestly, it's bunch of fun characters in different locations, dealing with variety of topics, dealing with characters past. It feels like it's also Barbie and Asteroid City are both very meta. They're dealing with story structure. And I feel like Solo is one of the most meta Star Wars things because it's dealing with other genres a lot more directly. It's clear he drops into a Western, he drops into a war movie, he drops in it feels very much like it's referencing here's the movies George Lucas liked. So in that sense, I would say Asteroid City for Solo.
I was thinking Asteroid City too.
Cool. And where does that bring us for Transformers?
Age of Extinction.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So
can we start the Harry Styles performance in Dunkirk category?
I don't like it. So It's a lot lighter than the last couple, I think. It is about... It's very much more of a commercial than any of them, because there's an infamous scene where Stanley Tucci has the like nanobot things and starts creating
Beats My Little Pony, a gun,
which feels very Barbie in that sense.
The only redeeming in this film is Stanley Tucci.
That is so true.
Carries the film.
It's got robot dinosaurs, which is not something you would see in
Who
Asteroid
show up
City
2 hours into the film. I feel like when we watch it, I'll bring it up when we watch it because it's iconic.
I guess, like, in a sense, you could say this one and a couple other Transformers movies, they're the quote-unquote boy version of Barbie. Like, they're boy Barbie movies.
G.I. Joe?
Yes, also, I mean, very similar. Not nearly as deep or intentional, but I would say, out of lack of options, I would put Age of Extinction under Barbie.
Yeah.
Minus the part where
Minus
Optimus...
the fun.
Yes, Optimus just kills a guy. Is it Kelsey Grammer's character, I think? Just in the middle of a battle, looks over, shoots him, and keeps going. That's cold-blooded. But other than that, going Barbie on this one. Are you agreeing with that?
Yes.
Okay. Hilarious. Okay, so that leads us to The Mandalorian.
We missed one.
So I'm going in release order again. It's kind of close. Technically, Mandalorian came out before Rise of Skywalker. Oh shoot! I did skip Rogue One.
So I'm like, bro.
Yes, sorry, I did skip
the one that's the most obvious.
Yes, thank you. Take a step back. Rogue One.
I was confused why you went to Solo. I was like, do I really not know when it was released?
It's literally about... he's a secondary character, but it is about a character who creates a world-destroying machine and being sad about it, and everyone else also having to deal with it. So I think of all the ones on this list, this is the most directly and literally Oppenheimer. Any argument you could make... Forrest Whitaker looks fabulous as...
he does.
All the characters, a lot of characters look fabulous in this movie.
They do. It's so good. And
any other arguments in that sense? As a girl main character. Girl. And she's kicking all up and down this movie for sure.
We have the story of one... Okay, yes. Oppenheimer was about a team. But one man's achievement impacting millions, billions.
Yeah.
The repercussions of that, and how the government takes things. Okay. Let me specify. But how he's made this super weapon, and he doesn't have any say in how it's actually going to be used.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Galen Erso.
Definitely. So, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious Oppenheimer for Rogue One.
We could have gotten some Galen Erso staring into the distance if they hadn't killed him.
I am become Death Star, literal destroyer of worlds.
Nice.
Okay. Where are we at with Transformers?
The last night.
Oh, man.
It just keeps getting worse.
Oh, man. But also better at the same time. I freaking love this movie.
Anthony Hopkins, though.
Anthony Hopkins giving a very Barbie performance. A very Wes Anderson performance with how high energy it is, actually.
This is the most revisionist history of Transformers.
It's so good. That would be a very Wes Anderson joke. Making a joke, like inserting weirdness into human history. Like a Wes Anderson, quote unquote, Wes Anderson version of history. Mm-hmm. It's not very Asteroid City specifically, but... The movie is almost its own version of 1950s America. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it took a second to land. Had to absorb that one.
And similarly, Asteroid City is very much drawing attention to the fact that you're watching a movie. It has like title cards, and it has this outer structure about a play. That is, the movie itself is supposed to be a play, and I feel like The Last Night draws a lot of attention. The fact that you're watching a movie, not necessarily directly, but like
That
it's such a movie, and it's also referencing other movies in like much like I said with Solo. But then did I end up? Okay, yeah, I said Solo was Asteroid City. Last Night is so clearly ripping off other movies. Like it is Civil War, it is Batman v Superman, it is Suicide Squad.
we get Stanley Tucci again.
Yeah, briefly.
For
yeah.
some reason.
Oh man, but that opening is very So I would say Asteroid City for Last Night.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, where are we at? So that's Transformers. We are now at Mandalorian. TV shows are a little bit harder because they're a little bit more tonally mixed. But man, he's a fabulous dresser, and it's about him upgrading his costume and getting new parts and deprogramming some of his
accessories.
Yes. But he
gets a cute little pet.
is there a cute little pet in Barbie?
In every animated Barbie movie, they have a cute little sidekick.
But in this specific Barbie movie, there's like no animals, though. They make reference to the dog, but the dog itself is like fake. But here's what I will say. Again, spoilers for Asteroid City. There are 2 scenes with a stop motion alien in it. And he shows up and he's a scene stealer, and he's one of, I think, a lot of people's favorite scenes in the movies. He doesn't talk at all in the movie that comes to a complete halt. There's no noise or anything.
Is it the
it's
same
hilarious.
trauma from Sixth Sense or whatever?
It's similar, but it's funny instead. That's a funny reference. It's very similar, but it's funny instead.
Traumatizing children for years.
So Mandalorian obviously deals with some dark stuff, but I would say nothing near on the Oppenheimer level. But it's not really light and silly and self-aware like Barbie. But I would say between the various adventures and the alien, for me, it's Asteroid City.
I was going to say Asteroid City too, because it's kind of Western.
Oh, good call. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. So quick update on the scores. I am deadlocked at 7-7-7. And you are at 10-9-8. That's Barbie, Asteroid City, Oppenheimer.
A lot of the shows
10,
got
9,
Barbie.
Yes. Okay. So where are you at with Transformers?
Bumblebee.
Oh, okay. Wow. Interesting. So it definitely feels like it has a small scale of an Asteroid City. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm kind of...
Well, it's got a girl in the lead character.
Yeah.
It is very... Whereas, I think if you're throwing out the Asteroid City of it, just like Barbie to Oppenheimer, just looking at those two, that scale... I think that Bumblebee was designed to be significantly lighter. It is very light. It is very fun. Like, there aren't a lot of deaths. There aren't a lot that it's very funny. It's a lot more silly. John Cena is in both of them.
Oh my gosh. You're right.
And I think the characters are very, like, you could describe the Decepticons of the Michael Bay movies as cartoony, but they're also very diabolical. But the Decepticons and human villains in Bumblebee are not nearly as threatening, even though they slice Cliffjumper in half at the beginning.
They do have Angela Bassett.
I do not remember that at all.
Voices, I can't remember.
Oh, she's a
name.
voice.
She voices
That's
the
right. Okay.
Red Decepticon.
So
Queen behavior.
I would say with the light and in relationship on a scale of, if you look at all of Transformers, at least live action, Bumblebee is by far the lightest, by far the most fun.
Yes.
Bumblebee himself looking great.
Bumblebee.
The movie's very much about the clothes, the fashion of the time. It's very much Barbie is okay. So while Oppenheimer and Barbie are very much both kind of period pieces. Mm-hmm. Barbie is like supposed to be like 80s, 90s. What are you laughing? What's funny? What's fun? What?
Make sure to cut this out. Period piece.
Oh my god! Keep it in. I'm not cutting out.
Sorry.
That's funny.
I've hit slap.
That's funny.
I've hit slap happy.
Period piece means something that's set in a specific period of time.
No way, Cameron.
God dang it. It's not even 9. I think you were projecting on your mother when you said that she'd be in bed by 9. You want to be in bed by 9.
I've been tired since 2 p.m.
Athena, keep all that in. Oppenheimer and Barbie are both definitely about their specific period of time. Whilst Oppenheimer, though, is the 40s, Barbie's 80s and 90s, and Bumblebee is firmly in the late 80s. So I would say, for all those reasons I just listed, Bumblebee is a Barbie movie.
It's very Barbie.
Okay, and let me just write. So we are at Rise of Skywalker. Meant to be tonally more fun than Last Jedi, I think, but it's also it's supposed to be the conclusion of the Skywalker saga, so it's got more dark elements to it. Again, it's the conclusion of Rey and Kylo's story, which parallels Barbie and Ken's story. What were you feeling? What are you thinking?
I think Asteroid City. Kind of firmly in the middle.
Okay, there's a character I want to reference, but I've tried to reference her before, but I constantly cannot remember this character's name. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Zori.
Oh, yeah. Zori. Zori.
Zori is she wears armor the whole movie.
Just the helmet, though. And
a
tracksuit and a belt.
She's
Poe's ex-girlfriend.
Poe's ex-flame. She's killing it. That costume is great. Everyone's costumes are really, really good in Rise of Skywalker.
Rey's?
Yes.
So good.
I agree. One of the very few good things about this movie. It's okay. I think it's a mixed bag. I don't hate it like a lot of people do. But I'm also not super... It's definitely the worst of the three, in my opinion.
Okay.
You have a lot of different characters. You have a lot going on. It is... Kylo himself is specifically having to deal with the fallout of his actions. Very Oppenheimer. But he turns around and becomes a good guy after making some poor decisions. Very much like
some
Ken.
Poor decisions.
To put it lightly.
Yeah.
To put it lightly. I don't know.
Following in his father's footsteps, because if you die, you don't have to answer to the war trial.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like logically of the 3 of the sequel trilogy, you would put Force Awakens is Barbie, Last Jedi is Oppenheimer, and this is in the middle. But I put Last Jedi at Asteroid City. So, man, between Asteroid City and Barbie, I guess for lack of a better option, I got to go Asteroid City for Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that's what I would have it as.
Not a lot to talk about with that movie anyways. What do we got next?
Rise of the Beasts.
Ooh, most recent Transformers movie. Very fresh in our memory.
Fresh.
Very 90s. A lot of fun. It's definitely, again, about the world ending. It gets a little dark towards the end, and it also starts off pretty dark as well with the death of... do you remember, like...
Bumblebee?
No, at the very first scene, Optimus Primal's father figure.
I can't remember his name. It was something that doesn't narrow it down.
I'm gonna Google search the other monkey transformer.
It was a one-word name because we made fun of
Optimus Minor.
No, I don't think that's his name.
There's another character named Optimus Minor though. That's so funny. I Google searched the other monkey transformer, and there was maybe I should search the other monkey transformer.
The other monkey transformer.
Who is the other ape in Transformers? Oh, I got it. Ape Link.
Yes, because we made fun of it. We went, huh?
Why did Transformers turn into beasts? This is way off topic. Okay. Where's this movie land? It's kind of, what I said earlier, movies that are kind of mediocre are probably going to land Asteroid City. This movie's kind of bland, tonally, doesn't have a ton going on.
I feel like there's not a lot of deep connections with the individual characters.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. It's hinted at, but it's not delved into.
Yeah, you do have different factions going on between the Terracons, the Maximals, and that feels a little Barbie. But yeah, I guess if you say it's a movie about a bunch of different characters kind of going about their business, that's very Asteroid City. And in a very toy-esque world. Yeah. For, again, lack of a better option, I'm going to go Asteroid City. You agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so back over to Star Wars. The Bad Batch.
Oh, I forgot that came out after Rise of Skywalker.
Great costumes, fun characters. It's dealing with it's a dark era for Star Wars, being right after the creation of the Empire, but they mostly avoid that because they're kind of off doing individual one-off adventures.
Crosshair is very Ken.
Crosshair is very Ken. Explain.
I don't like Crosshair.
No. That's Harry Styles in Dunkirk.
Someone finding his worth in an ideology.
Okay.
And throwing everyone else under the bus for it.
Interesting. I think that's
This is also a Crosshair hate podcast. At least 50% of it.
How many days has it been since our Crosshair incident?
Oh no! I should keep my mouth shut. Oh.
And it's the only situation in which Ken, played by Ryan Gosling, and Crosshair have anything in common.
Yes.
They are very different men. Crosshair doesn't even have hair. Ken has incredibly blonde, bright, acid wash hair.
I almost made that joke too.
While there is some darker underwriting themes of Bad Batch, I think it's such a lighthearted cartoon with fun characters and great costumes and just a lot of fun going on. Mm-hmm. I got to put it in Barbie.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I think the stakes, it's because the stakes weren't as high until really the end.
Mm-hmm. True.
It's kind of what's working against it.
Yeah, I agree. So, do you have any more? Is there any more Transformers?
I don't got anything else.
Okay, we're almost done. We only got 3 more. They're just the TV shows. Book of Boba Fett. You know, when I think of Boba Fett, I think of Boba's fabulous stance that he takes where he shoots the missiles. But it is about a bunch of people fighting over a town in the middle of the desert. In a lot of different personalities, great costumes. Mm-hmm. It is probably the most literally similar to Asteroid City plot-wise.
I was gonna say the same because you have some of the more goofier. Like I feel like Book of Boba Fett has such. I forgot words. Has such. I don't want to say extremes, but flip-flopping of tone between episodes. Based on who directed them.
Yes, good point.
You've got a lot more of the goofier and fun ones, which Star Wars is fun when it's goofy. But then you've got some of those, then you've got those episodes near the beginning when Boba is with the Tusken tribe. Those are so tonally different.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Compared to some of the others that I would put it at Asteroid City too, because it's so back and forth.
You know, if the show was just that, if it was just that story, that would be very Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Because he becomes death, man, when he wipes out that swoop back by gang with Slave One. Yeah, if it was just the Transformer stuff. You remember the part of Book of Boba Fett when he joined a tribe of Transformers. The tribe of Tusken Raiders. That's very dark and it's not like literally similar to Oppenheimer, but tonally what it did, and then they all die and he's responsible for it. Because he taught them to rise up for themselves. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's a really good point. That almost puts it over to Oppenheimer for me. But when I think about all of the other stuff in the
there's
show...
enough differences that it's not quite.
Okay. So, we are at Kenobi now. I think Kenobi is very Oppenheimer.
I really think it is, too. We see a very depressed man. Through 6 episodes trying to right his wrongs.
Yeah. It's very much singular. I mean, literally the title is about this one man. He's dealing with it's all very retroactive, but he's dealing with the ghost of what he had to do. This is like the third act of Oppenheimer is very Kenobi, dealing with the problems, dealing with what he caused. He's got a best friend who's betraying him, which is very Oppenheimer. Not knowing who you can trust, worried about the next generation. I feel like that's a kind of an undercurrent of Oppenheimer, is like, what the people after me, what did they have to deal with because of my actions? That's also very Kenobi. Yeah, that's nice. I like that a lot. Is there any Barbie elements in Kenobi? I feel like Reva's. Is it
Mon Mothma's? No, wait, sorry, I'm wrong show. Oops.
Wrong show. That's the next
I'm
one.
too ready.
That's next.
I'm too
early.
ready. I forgot my.
Oh, I mean, all the little Leia stuff would go way more into Barbie, for sure. But that's probably about it.
Yeah.
Most of it's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Our final one for the evening. We have arrived at Andor. I mean, again, very Oppenheimer. Like, after Rogue One, it's the next most obvious. While these characters are not directly responsible for it, they are the rebels.
They are getting the impact.
Yeah, and you do have certain characters in Andor. I mean, everyone still is dealing with the fallout of their own actions. Everyone in Andor has some sort of dark past.
Cassian. Oh my gosh. He's not running from the Empire. He's running from someone else.
And so that's a pretty obvious one. But the question, is there any Barbie in it? You already answered that question.
Mon Mothma's outfits.
And
Luthen. And Luthen.
Luthen is... That was one of the best memes I've seen.
So
was you have a Luthen in costume, and you have Luthen as he normally looks, and it's Barbie and Oppenheimer. So funny. Oh, man. I may have already saved that. I may have just spoiled one of our memes.
Oh, no. Well, I know you didn't make that one because I saw it, too. Did I might have retweeted it on Twitter.
So, final score. Cameron, almost perfectly even, as much as it could be. Barbie, 9. Asteroid City 10, Oppenheimer 9.
What?
Oppenheimer. Rachel, Barbie 12, Asteroid City 11, Oppenheimer 10. Yours is a little skewed towards Barbie because you had a bunch of toy commercial cartoons.
Have a bunch of toy commercials.
If you took out like the 3 you hadn't seen,
I know, yeah.
It probably would have been a bit more even. That may have actually come out 10s across the board.
It might have, yeah.
'Cause I think you had like one that was Asteroid City 2. So it would have, if it was
did.
ones you had seen, it'd probably be straight 10s. Interesting how we kind of end up very even across the board on that. That was tons of fun. I like that.
So now we have to do it when Ahsoka comes out.
Is it?
Do we have to do this every time?
From here on out, everything new we watch, we got to rank it on the spectrum.
Oh, man.
Is this what people talk about when they say on the spectrum? They're talking about this spectrum of Barbie to Oppenheimer. Anyways.
My gosh. Anyways.
That was fun. If you have any thoughts you'd like to throw out there as to anything on the Star Wars and Transformers franchise, if you want to throw it on this spectrum of Barbie to Oppenheimer with Asteroid City in the middle, let us know what you think. Any last thoughts before we go into our famous segment?
Nope.
It's not Barbenheimer Minute. It's Meme Minute. But it's longer than a minute. It's been 2 weeks.
Could be an
for
Oppenheimer
us.
film since we go long on this part.
Hopefully not 3 hours like Oppenheimer, or 5 hours like Barbenheimer with Barbenheimer. You know, Bob and Armin. Anyways, but it's also not meme parsec or meme astrosecond. It's meme minute. What do you got, Rachel?
I want to show my TikToks first that I found.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
If that's okay. I literally made this joke in the theater 5 minutes into the film. Oh my gosh. So what this is it says, so that is the song Can You Hear the Music from Oppenheimer. It says literally me after watching Oppenheimer. It is the scene from Revenge of the Fallen when Sam has his meltdown in his astronomy class, and he goes up and starts writing all the Cybertronian symbols on the chalkboard. There's a scene in Oppenheimer where Oppenheimer's lying in bed in college and he sees like this nuclear fission. I leaned to camera and I said, "Is this what Sam saw after he touched the cube?" Anyways, I feel very vindicated. Validated.
That's fun.
Not vindicated,
it is
validated.
fun when you have a thought in a movie and someone else makes that meme in real life.
Neuron meme.
Okay, so this is fun, humorously relevant because there's a new movie in this franchise about to come out. I'm gonna let you take a quick look at it before I read it out. So what it says is Teenage Mutant Ninja Bad Batch, and it has the Bad Batch. It has the Ninja Turtles plus what is her? I keep on calling her Rachel.
I don't remember her name.
Something.
I've never seen Ninja Turtles.
Dang it. April O'Neil is her name.
Yes.
I'm looking at a Rachel, and for some reason my brain could not get off Rachel.
God, don't look at me.
And it has Michelangelo as Echo, labeled as Echo, and Leonardo as Hunter, Raphael as Wrecker, Tech as Donatello, and Omega as April O'Neil, which is, these are the broad. Love it. Those are the broad archetypes in a lot of cartoons. The smart one, the big one, the leader. I guess Echo is the funny one. I guess Echo and Michelangelo don't really match up, and Omega is the girl with the group. So that was a funny observation and kind of a fun way to present it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Bad Batch.
Cute.
What do you got?
Actually, I played it already.
I didn't get... What am I looking at? These are fish?
These are fish trying to get a bug by spitting water at it. And
Oh.
sounds.
That's I didn't know fish could do that. That's hilarious. That's really, really funny. So it was Battlefront 2 noises played over fish spitting water at a bug.
You gotta
Very nice.
drop it down from wherever it's hanging. Yeah.
That's
very
great.
niche. Very niche.
It's funny though.
Oh my gosh.
This is another visual meme. I'm going to give Rachel a chance to just look at it. She's just covered her face in shock and horror, but she's also laughing. It's a photo of, I think I've heard this before. It's like a real life Hot Wheels track. Like there's like a live stunt show that's like real life Hot Wheels, but it's the back of Starscream. And then the second image is the front of Starscream, and he's holding Chip, the human character from the cartoon series, in a wheelchair, implying he's about to push him through the life-size Hot Wheels, which was very funny, especially after the last episode that we watched. We had a heavy Chip segment about Chip in his wheelchair.
Just saying, the Decepticons have treated Chip's wheelchair better than most American airlines do. This says Han's mind while Leia's desperately trying to evacuate Echo Base. Oh.
For those of you who have not seen Barbie, that's a song that Ken sings in Barbie about his lamenting that Barbie does not see him the way he wants to be seen. I think that Rachel is already reacting to my next one. I like this one because it's very relevant, again, to our Oh, we both have it! What is it, Rachel?
It is the title poster from Oppenheimer, but they've photoshopped out Cillian Murphy and put Chopper in it, and then put Choppenheimer.
So good. There's like this works on so many levels.
So good.
Chopper, Oppenheimer, Choppenheimer. The pun works, but also the fact that the joke about this character,
Destroyer of Worlds.
The fact that this character is known. Chopper specifically is known for being a mass murderer, a war criminal, and him being surrounded with the explosions. And the tagline for the movie is "The world forever changes." So good. Ugh.
I'm finally to my visual memes.
Go for it.
Prime Day has become too commercialized, and everyone has forgotten the true meaning of the.
I almost included that one.
He died for you people.
He died for you people.
There's a screenshot of dead Optimus from the 1984
so
film.
Good. So good. This is a photo. Okay, so I'll read the text first. Obi-Wan. He was a best star pilot in the galaxy. So remember from New Hope, Obi-Wan is describing Anakin to Luke. He's like, he was a cunning warrior and a good friend. Best star pilot in the galaxy. Literally every ship Anakin ever touches. And it's just a car that's crashed into the second floor of a house. The
Yep.
joke there being, especially in the Clone Wars, Anakin crashed
Oh my
nearly
gosh.
every ship he ever
Yes.
owned.
Can you briefly explain Transformers lore? Wait. It's this image of girl asking whatever Chad guy, whatever the meme format is, to briefly explain Transformers lore, and the speech bubble starts filling up the entire comic. Relatable.
So this one is, let's see, I'm trying to think if I should read the caption first or okay, so it's got Batman leaving the apartment of Catwoman. He's like grappling out of her window, and Darth Vader, sorry, man, wow. Batman is labeled Obi-Wan, and he's saying, I promise no matter what, I will never be your friend, and I will never forgive you, and I will hate you for the rest of my life. And Catwoman is labeled Anakin, de-limbed and burning alive.
That's good. When the clones suddenly start killing the Jedi during Order 66.
Oh my gosh, one of my favorite memes.
There's a very popular meme of a cat photoshopped into wearing a pair of jean overalls, standing on its hind legs, looking over like 2 feet of snow, like it's looking over a fence, and it is captioned. Are you ready?
Yep.
They doing over there?
So good. Oh my
So
gosh.
good. It's one
I
of my
love
favorite memes.
the idea of the droids just being confused, like just firing on their own. What's going on?
What are you supposed to do here?
This is my last image, and
have
I've
a
got one
bunch.
more video. This actually, I included this because I thought it would be funny. This is a shout out to Rachel's mom, who is
Shout out my mom,
who is a librarian. It just is a transformer aiming a gun at the camera, and it says, "Don't talk in the library."
I'm gonna have to send that one to her. I got this one. Just want you to read it.
Breaking news: Mandalorian goes practical. Directors of Disney Plus fan favorite take inspiration from Oppenheimer. And it's the image of Moff Gideon getting blown up. Very nice.
Which,
that's pretty funny.
if you don't know, the explosions in Oppenheimer are practical, not CGI.
Okay, so I've got one last. I'll get a video. I'll save it till you're either done. Or you have like 1 minute left. So you just let me know when you're almost done.
Well, considering we have the same one, that takes one out.
Oh yeah,
So I have 4, but they're
Okay.
they're pretty short. This one's a little wordy.
So this is the panic, calm, panic meme format. So panic when Thrawn is very close to discovering Callus's fulcrum. This is from Star Wars Rebels. Calm. Callus pulls a great scheme in season 3, episode 17 to fool Thrawn and place the blame on List. Panic. Thrawn pulling a 180, knowing Callus is fulcrum and using him to find the rebels.
I think we mixed up the panic and calm, but
Oh, did I really?
Yeah.
Panic, calm, panic. Okay.
it's okay. It's fine. I'll forgive you. Another good one.
That's incredible. I love that. Oh, man.
Similar. Spoilers for Bad Batch season 2. Similar to the Choppenheimer meme, but they have cut out the last time we see Tech in season 2, and they changed it to Droppenheimer.
So good. I love it.
This one is a screenshot from Rogue One. Of Krennic. We stand here amidst my Mojo Doja Casa house.
Very good. Oh, man, that's good.
So good.
Love it.
And then, okay, I'm on my last one.
Yep, this one was all around the internet. My niece sent me this one today.
It says Jar Jar B, and it's Jar Jar.
Excellent Photoshop job, though. But
So good,
Still
so good.
very, very excellently Photoshopped. Jar Jarby.
Jar Jar.
There's been a lot of forced Jar Jar puns in the past, but that is like it makes sense because the Barbie, but it just doesn't flow well at all. Jar Jarby. Okay, is that?
Oh, I guess it does if you do Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jarby Binks.
No, Jar Jar B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Barbie. Jar Jar Binks Barbie.
Jar Jar. So like the name Jar Jar Binks.
Yes. Now how to get Barbie in there though?
It's just Jarby. It's just Jar Jar B.
Yes, but it's putting the Barbie at the end of the second jar.
But it's not the full Barbie word.
Yeah, because it's taking out the first. It's replacing the B in Barbie with a J.
It depends on where you put the emphasis.
Jar Jar B. Yeah, it's
Or
almost Jar Jar Binks.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I can see what you're saying. So this is very specifically. This is very specifically for Rachel. This joke. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to loop. So that is the famous I Am the Senate scene where oh, she's dead. She liked it. The famous I Am the Senate scene where Palpatine flies out of his chair to attack the Jedi, but someone has inserted you have to remind me the character's name.
Brendan Fraser
I know the
as
actor's
Rick
name.
O'Connell.
Rick O'Connell, Brendan Fraser's character from the Mummy movies, and he screams back at him and then shoots him with a shotgun, and it cuts the credits. So that was very much just for Rachel. Okay, let me send you the memes from.
We got to figure out which we made though.
Yes, we forgot to say at the top, we're still doing our weekly competition. We're both 2 for 2, and you have to guess which meme the other podcast host made. One of them, not including like screenshots of that we took of social media. Okay. I hope I sent it to the right person. Sometimes I'm not thinking I did. Okay, I sent it to you. Yes.
Don't send it to your boss.
That would, ooh, that'd be weird. The first one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Bad Batch is the first one that would confuse that out of someone. Off the top of my head, everything you shared was great. So whatever one you made is hilarious.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh man.
So from me, you've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Bad Batch, the Hot Wheels, Choppenheimer. Or we both submitted Choppenheimer, so that's not very helpful.
Is it this one?
Yes. Dang it.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. Okay, so from Rachel, we've got the image of Chopper, and it says "Return of the King."
Oh, I forgot to show that one. Yes, it's like from
Prime Day has become too commercial, and everyone has forgotten the true meaning of the holiday. He died for you people. Can you briefly explain Transformers movie lore? The droids with the Order 66. Mandalorian goes practical. Panic, calm, panic. Droppenheimer. We sit amidst my dojo. Mojo Dojo Casa House. So I know you didn't make Jar Jar B. Man, these are... So, something about... Now, I've seen the can you briefly explain meme format used quite a bit. But there's something about... See, I don't think you would... No, maybe... You know... It's very suspicious there's a meme in here about Callus. It's really specific. Maybe a little too specific, though. Man, I really don't want to be wrong. It's hard. Gosh dang it. I'm going to guess this one.
You're wrong.
No! Okay, I want to take a second guess.
Let's go. I'm going to text your wife.
Second guess. Dang it. Dang it. Is it this one?
No.
Dang it. Okay, what is it?
It's this one.
This one.
It's the fake news report.
Nice. Nicely done.
Let's go. I'm going to text your wife that you got the meme wrong.
Well, you know what? It was, I fooled myself. I forgot that on iPhoto, it automatically adds that little thing in the corner.
Oh, yeah, that's the exact.
So I assumed that meant it was a screenshot.
Oh, no.
It's okay. Very nicely done. That's really funny.
Thank you.
That's a really good meme. Dang. Okay. So
I guessed Cameron's one, which is the Batman one.
Yeah.
I promise no matter what, I will never be your friend, and I will never. Unfortunately, I have seen almost all of these.
Yeah, that's the hard part of this for sure.
If It was the D-limbed.
We gotta keep track of the score. So Rachel
3.
2-0. Cameron 3-0.
3-0.
3-0. Cameron is 2-1. We have our first defeat. Nicely done. Done.
Is it so genuinely that's not even my memes. The callus one, I swiped it from Reddit. I found it on Reddit.
Nice.
I was like, this is so specific.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I can't believe can't believe it wasn't one of my own.
Yes, it was very much a fandom meme. Very specific, but like if I was wrong, I would have been so mad because it was so focused on Callus and Rebels. It was very you. Any closing thoughts before we close out for the week? This is fun.
This was fun.
Go see Barbie and Oppenheimer.
So
They're both really good movies.
They are really good. Every time something comes out now, expect us to put it on our Barbenheimer rating, I guess.
I love it. As always, thank you to Caleb Jacoby for our intro and outro music, and props to Rachel for our amazing artwork and our Twitter account. Go follow us and like our most recent insane tweet.
Props to Cameron for providing all the equipment for us to record and for running our Facebook. Props to Athena for editing.
Thanks, Athena. Give us something to read on the pod. Leave us a review, tweet or DM us memes or opinions. All right, give me just
any opinions, I guess. Just any.
Oh yeah.
Any opinion?
Theoretically, I guess, yeah. This is Cameron and Rachel signing off, saying Phantom Menace, Beast Wars, Canto Bight, From The Last Jedi, Dark of the Moon are all Oppenheimer, and Age of Extinction, Bumblebee, Bad Batch, and Solo are Barbie. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Oh man, I've never done an intro before.
What was your idea? Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Oh wow. That's it.
Great.
Welcome back, everybody. Back to Starformers, which I've never done it before.
That's normally after the intro.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never done one of these before, Cameron.
The actual intro. You said can our intro be a joke that the term Barbenheimer is a ripoff of our Starformers name?
I know what I said.
I didn't know if you remembered.
I remember what I said. I've never done one before. Normally, I just sit here and wait until you say I'm Cameron and then I go I'm Rachel. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It is Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for our weekly gathering to share memes, talk news, and talk shop. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the worldwide knockoff of our podcast name, Barbenheimer, which is a clear stealing of our Starformers night. How are you feeling, Cameron?
Okay, so here's the structure. Here's the structure. We have some sort of cold open. Then I play the theme song, and then we do It's Wednesday night, we're at the apartment. You did a great job. It kind of breaks the structure of when I drop in the theme song.
Yeah, it also breaks the structure.
Me interrupting?
Yeah.
You did a great job. I don't want you to feel discouraged. It's just, there's nowhere in there for me to put the theme song if you say It's Wednesday night before you talk about the Barbenheimer thing. Are you writing it down?
I am writing it down.
Fine. I have it written down so I can do it every week. Because I can't remember. This is all going at the end, by the way. This is all this is staying in. It's just going to be at the very end after the outro music. Hello to those of you who have stuck around afterwards. I hope you're enjoying this little Easter egg, little behind the scenes look into how disorganized we are.
I should have kept my sound on so they could hear me typing.
This is what happens when it's been 2 weeks since we recorded, and also I just throw Rachel at it when she's never done the intro before.
I would have spent my lunch break practicing. Anyways. We should just have Athena do it.
No, she has to edit all of this.
No, she's in my bedroom. She went to go take a nap.
What? She's giving up on her producing jobs. No, let her sleep. I guess I'll edit it. All right, I'll take notes for her so she can edit it properly. Editor's note: leave all this in and double it.
Double it and give it to the next person. Oh man, see, now I don't have my witting charm to go off impulsively, so I have to figure it out.
I don't know if my phone is on mute. It is, because my brother tried to call me 30 minutes ago.
Oh shoot.
That's fine. It's nothing important. If he doesn't listen to this. And if he did, I would still say it, but
Okay.
I just realized I need water. Sorry.
Your cup's by the sink.
Here?
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Quality content.
Quality content.
The anti-resume podcast.
Is this already an anti-resume
If anyone
podcast?
ever tries to hire me to actually do a podcast, I'll say, I've never done one before.
Be like, oh yeah, we
Oh,
just,
great.
yeah, wow. Huh, who guessed? Cameron, before you leave, I sent you something on Twitter that you need to watch.
Okay, sounds good.
I sent you like 6 things on Twitter you need to watch, but you need to watch 2 of them for sure.
Okay. Ready? Okay.
All right.
Whenever you are ready
Look,
to go.
this is the production student in me. It is Wednesday night, and we are back at my apartment after technically 2 weeks for us, but 1 week for you all. And we're back to talk shop and have a new style of podcast content tonight. That's the pause for the music.
Okay, but I thought we were going to start with the Barbenheimer is a ripoff of
Well,
Starformers joke.
I thought that was going to be that's what I started off with, and then you said we did a cold open.
No, so what we typically do is just do something, and then we do the Wednesday night.
Oh, welcome back.
Yes. So you do the...
Okay.
Because what you did before is you said it's Wednesday night, and then you did like the normal... Like, I guess you have 2 different things. You have the pre...
Okay.
You have the pre-music, and then you have the intro.
pre is the cold open.
Yes.
Man, 2 weeks, and I don't remember a single thing about how this podcast works. Take me out of the state, and I don't know a single thing. Okay. I spent another... that was a big old bang.
Whenever you're ready.
See, now I don't know what to say.
I will gladly let you do it if you want to keep trying. If you really don't want to do it, I will do it.
How long have we been recording?
We've been recording for 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Horrible.